All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and do the blade review on this knife that saved my life. Here it is. Ooh. Here it is, the Civivi Relic. Forgive me if I sound a little off. I am under the weather, so yeah, I'll try to do it the best I can. Any sniffles, coughs, or sneezes, which I actually found out that if you sneeze, cough, burp, and fart all at the same time, you'll actually be dismissed to the sixth dimension. Did you know that? I just found that out. I just came back. Place is rough. Anyways, go ahead and tune in. Let's talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into today. Good old Civivi. Now, I gotta tell you, they do micarta well. This is their dark green micarta. And the way that the light is shining in, this is actually really nice. So I gotta be honest with you, this is a fantastic knife. Now, the Relic is basically just like a clip point blade. It's really fantastic knife. One thing that I can say about this knife is it doesn't break the bank either. This knife is quite affordable. I can't really think of the price right now. For some weird reason, I remembered it, but now I forgot it. I know people are like, you need cue cards. Yeah, I do. But I also like keeping it real, man. I like to keep it all natural. This knife is fantastic. It's very, very, very nice. And of course, we all know it. If Civivi were to make this in any other way, it would still be awesome. And they have. There's a few flavors that this knife is. I think there's one in G10, I think. I could be wrong. Different colored micarta scales, and one in Damascus steel. So this one is Nitro V, which is actually really cool. I am not too familiar with Nitro V. This is my first Nitro V knife. The last knife that I got from Civivi, the Imperium? Was it the Imperium? I believe it's the Imperium. It was a Damascus, and then we got another. I think I got another one. I'm not entirely sure, or maybe I probably kept the Damascus. Excuse me. I thought I was about to sneeze there for a minute. Yeah. Anyways, deep carry pocket clip. They always do it right. Even with that raised lip right there, I've never had an issue with it catching onto anything. So that's a good thing. You got an open back construction, you got pillar design, and you also have a lanyard post at the very back corner right here. You can switch it, only tip up to right or left hand carry. The screws on this knife are recessed, which means there's no hang up no matter where. It's so fantastic. I really do like it. The ball bearing pivot is nice and smooth. It's good to open, and the flipper is actually very, very low profile. That is the lowest profile I've seen on a flipper. Don't say front flipper, because if it's not a front flipper, but I know some front flippers are very, very, it just molds really well. I'm not a huge fan of front flippers. I just think they're kind of silly. I'm still trying to find a way to like use a front flipper. I always have to like pop it open halfway and then flick the rest of the way out. So having a normal spine flipper like this makes sense. And they took out the thumb studs. There's no thumb studs, so everything's nice and smooth with the design, and the flow of this knife is, I want to say, lack of a better word, perfect. Everything, there's no sharp corners on this thing. It's just nicely rounded off. The jimping is in the right places. You got jimping here and here. The grip is fantastic because micarta is just great. And it's a good knife. It's a fantastic knife. Now, in my last video, I told you guys how this knife saved my life, and I gotta tell you, this handle it feels really good. It really does. It feels really, really good. Now, before I forget, it is a liner lock, yes, and the liners are milled out for weight reduction. You can see that just a little bit. I don't want to blind you guys with the light, but you can see all those little holes that are drilled in there. Square holes, anyways, and one rectangle one down in the back. I wonder if this side is... Oh, yeah, lightly milled out, but, you know, without... Because you got that liner lock right there. Liner lock's nice and jimped. You can get to it pretty easily with that little cutout right there, but I think that's my only complaint. They could have done that just a tad bit better, but I could still get to it, so it's fine. It's absolutely fine. And of course, you get your tweezers, which are hidden. So let me close the knife so I can avoid cutting myself. And you go back here. It's like a little nail nick. Pull it out. And these are actual tweezers that work. They pinch skin and everything. So these are actual functional tweezers. Very, very good. What I do have to tell you is I don't really use tweezers all the time, or if ever at all. But if there's something you don't want to touch, tweezers are great, so you can just pick up that whatever that item is without having to use your fingers. I guess that's the only thing I could really use tweezers for, unless I'm in a public bathroom somewhere and I need to pull a weird hair from somewhere, then I guess I could use this, but I just don't see the use in tweezers too much. If I get a splinter, maybe? Sure, I don't know. But it's there if you need it, and it's also there if you don't. So you just put it back inside the hole and slide it back in, and it's friction held, so it's not going to go anywhere, and it's actually less noticeable, but it's there if you ever need it, I guess. It's a very good alternative tool, but that's all you really get. And I'm glad they didn't add a toothpick in there. That would have been really weird. But sure, you could use that for something too if that was there, but it's not. So this is a great knife. So what do you get inside of the Civivi case? Typical stuff. You got your paperwork, microfiber cloth, and stickers as always. So here's your stickers. You got the green Civivi sticker, Elementum sticker, and your paperwork. This is universal paperwork for all knives. They just throw it in there along with your microfiber cloth. Get so many of these. They're really good. Forgive me, like I said, I am under the weather. So I'm going to put this stuff away, at least for now. And I'm going to get into the specs of the knife so that way you guys know what you're getting yourself into. It is relatively light, but I'm going to be finding out how light that actually is. Ooh. Oh, moving to my... All right, 3.72 ounces. Under 4 ounces. That's really good. We'll get into the length. So the length of the blade, about 3.5, but the cutting edge is shorter, so about 3 3/8, with a total length of exactly 8 inches overall when opened. And you got a 4.5-inch handle, which is quite comfortable, makes sense, and does actually work. Now, how thin is everything? Oh, I'm dropping stuff, man. That's not cool. All right, so you got a 2.6, 2.7 on the blade. On the handle, you got a 12.4. Now, here's the crazy thing. It is a little bit chunky in the pocket. The footprint actually is really nice. It's not that bad. It seems to do well regardless, and does it pretty damn well and decent. So don't let that bother you, but it does. You will feel it in there, and it will be decently used, I guess. So I'm kind of losing my my grip here. It's just because I'm fighting off a sneeze right now. It sucks being sick. Anyways, I really do like how everything is symmetrical and just very much nothing pops out unless it is whatever that needs to be. It's very attractive. It works very well. So if you're looking for a good tool knife, I suggest this one right here. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with the Nitro V steel, but it is a very thin blade, and that tip is needle sharp. All right, so just keep that in mind. I guess my hand oils really haven't turned the color on the handle scales yet, but it will. Give it time, and it's a fantastic knife that I can say right now. That's, it's a good knife. The handle, there's not too much of the finger grouping here, but it works. It absolutely works. Jimping feels right everywhere, so having this open and going to use it is fantastic. So, before people ask me for my last video, I already have a feeling that someone's going to be like, oh, you're going to keep carrying the knife on you for self-defense. I'm always going to carry a knife on me for self-defense, but it's very much last-ditch effort self-defense knife. Strictly, always going to be that way. I will never pull my weapon unless I absolutely have to, and I have no other choice to do so. Which in my last video, I really almost had no choice. But it provided me a different window of opportunity, and I took it, and I'm here today because of it. So use a little bit of wisdom, practice, and do yourself a favor and carry whatever you feel is right. But understand that whatever you carry has some ramifications to it. It's got a little bit of consequence. So I was told that I need to start carrying pepper spray. And no, not from a guy in comments, because I know that's exactly what happened. The guy commented in one of my videos, that's why you use pepper spray. I am not a pepper spray guy. I'm not. But after watching a few videos and after having the training that I had with pepper spray in my past, I have reconsidered carrying pepper spray. I think that would be much more fun to unload on somebody than a knife, because you have less consequences. Because when you pull out a knife, you better plan on using it some way, somehow. Okay? So when I pulled out my knife, I used it as a scare tactic, and it worked in my situation. And I was only going to use it if I had no other option, and my life was truly, truly, truly in danger, which I felt that it was, but I had an option, and I took the right option and getting out of the situation completely. So with that being said, it doesn't hurt to carry around pepper spray. I was told to do that by the police because now the police know that I carry around a pocket knife. But what I don't want them to think is that I don't want them to think that I'm carrying it around so I can purposely kill attackers. That's not what I want to do that for. I carry a knife because it's tradition, mainly. I'm just one of those knife guys who always carries a knife. It's the same thing about the dude who carries around a lighter, you know? I used to have a buddy in my group that's all he ever did. He carried a lighter. He never smoked. He just believed that lighters are useful tools. Same thing the way that people walk around with tactical pry bars in their pocket. It's a little ridiculous, but there's a purpose. So if there's a purpose for you slapping on a watch on your wrist every single day, and I'm not talking about your cell phone watch, I'm talking about a regular old-fashioned watch, then there's a purpose for everything that you carry. Someone carries around a flashlight in their pocket because they use that as a self-defense tool. There's reasons for it. So going back to my mindset changing and considering carrying around pepper spray, I think is what I'm going to start doing. I have bear mace, so I'm going to carry that first. It's older, but I also have seen videos where old bear mace is still highly effective. It doesn't reach as far, and that's the reason why pepper sprays go bad and why you should replace them, because the pressure on the inside of the can goes out. The contents inside of the can is still hot as ever, and it always will be. But the pressure in the can is what you need to be concerned about. You want it to create distance. And if you're not able to do that, then it's not doing its job as a self-defense item. The thing about pepper spray is you create distance so you have a chance to run. Okay? That's the whole point about pepper spray. And a lot of reasons why a lot of people don't like carrying pepper spray, because it seems to be too easy to use. Well, aren't guns too easy to use? I mean, you got to think about that. Some people are like, oh, you carry a pepper spray, then you're a fucking coward. Like, no, come on now. You don't, and that's just paraphrasing, all right? I've heard that so many times through, like, people. I'm going to tell you right now, if you decide to carry something for self-defense, then I applaud you for it. It doesn't matter what it is. The only reason why I don't carry around any tasers, because, one, it's bulky. It doesn't matter what it is. I have a couple of flashlight tasers that I don't even carry. The reason why I don't carry a flashlight taser is because if you're shocking somebody with one of those, they better not touch you. because then you'll complete the arc and you yourself will feel it in some form or fashion, depending on the severity of how and what kind of situation you're in. I've seen it happen. The chance of that happening is going to suck. So, and it is a chance, and it is a real thing that does happen. So my best suggestion to you is get whatever you feel is best. I'm choosing, yes, I'm going to start carrying, I have it's Saber Red pepper spray, and it's a gel, and it's a stream spray, not the actual spray. Why that is because stream is not going to be, it's going to be less likely to blow back at you. Gel sticks more. It does have a slightly delayed response, but if you're squirting in the person's eyes, which is what they teach you, you go from right to left a couple times while using the pepper spray, and you want to squirt the eyes, and then you want to sidestep. All right, you want to get out of that person's way just in case they start to lunge forward in any way. So you go right to left across the eyes, and then you step out of their forward movement. I do have proper training for it. It's not that hard. Anybody can learn it within minutes. But I've also been sprayed by pepper spray, and it does suck. It sucks so much. But that was when I was doing police training, and I did that. Part of my senior project was to be a part of law enforcement, so I was in the explore post for my city law enforcement. I learned a lot. So it's very effective in stopping somebody, or at least creating time for you to get away, and that's the smartest thing that any law enforcement will tell you to do other than pulling a knife. But of course I didn't have anything else at the time, so pulling a knife was the only option I had, and I used it in a sense that was wise and not unwise. So think twice. I'm not promoting this knife, and that's one reason why I'm talking like this. I'm not promoting this knife for self-defense. I'm saying that this knife worked for me at the time, and it provided a purpose that I didn't actually really see in this knife, because I just wanted to carry a tool knife. I have countless fighting knives, so I just wanted something simple. But even this simple knife right here was capable of putting a little bit of scare in my attacker. So it's a cherry on top of multiple layers of shit. So it's fantastic. It is very fantastic. Excuse my language. I'm just yeah. Anyways, I think I might have to put an age restriction on this video, because I think I've cursed way too many times. I'm always trying to make sure that I don't sound like a sailor, but it sounds like I am a sailor in this video. Forgive me on that. So go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that bell icon so you guys are notified whenever I post new stuff. Excuse me, that was really strange. My nose is killing me right now. And in these craziest times, everybody please be kind, be safe, carry responsibly, and I'll see you all awesome people in the next video. I think it's time for me to get some well-deserved chicken noodle soup.